Good afternoon. How are we all? Oh, listen, thanks heaps for waiting for me. Yeah, there were just a few challenges today, and it got to about 12:30, and I went, nah, it's just not going to happen. It's not, and the girls are going to have to forgive me. And yeah, we are finally here. So, welcome everyone. Oh my goodness, you are all here. Oh, were you hanging out for a bit of a catch up? I was. It's been ages. Hang on, I need a glass of water. Hang on. Hey, Robbie. Rob, can I have a glass of water? Thanks. I'm going to be a bit parched. So Rob's home today too. Oh, it's all go here. Good afternoon, Lorraine. Joy, hello Joy. Good to see you. Hi Sue, Kathy. Oh, there's a lot of you here. I'm not going to go through everyone. Who was it that wrote alarm set? That I laughed out loud. I really did. Good afternoon, Jackie, Marie, Yvonne. Felicity's in the building. Barb's here. Oh, it is a lovely sunny day, Sally. You're absolutely right. Pam, you get brownie points. My new set, which I don't know what time Robert finished putting the set up last night, but I wasn't around for it. Let's just put it that way. I had gone bye-byes. And it took a little while. And it took a while to set up. And yeah, so I'll tell you what's going on. Who said hi? Who's saying good morning? Oh, good morning, Karen. Hi. Well, it's a better time for you, isn't it? Kind of. What are you? 7 o'clock. About there. See, I know that because I know my Natasha times. I'm very happy to see you too, Joe. Oh, you're all so funny. Have you all started on the sherry? Is that what's happening and I've missed out? Deb, got your parcel here to post out. Didn't make it out today. Yesterday. I'm very sorry, but it is heading out today for you. So what has happened? Afternoon, Lorraine. Oh, you're most welcome, Donna. I'm glad you got your little surprises. Everyone gets special surprises if they exhibit at one of my virtual exhibitions or any of my exhibitions. It is so long. It was what? Sunday morning. That's like forever time. Was it Sunday morning? It was. Oh my goodness. That's like way too long. It's not happening now. I'm going to bombard you for the next week to make up for it. Fiona, hi. Did you get your parcel yet? If not, it's round the corner. Peter, you're here too. Good, because I'm going to talk about you and me. In a minute, you are an example of something I'm going to explain. As you will know, hola, Fildefada. Fildefada, your parcels left, Maria, today. They are on the way to you for your Madrid show. This is a business meeting, everyone, if you haven't already worked that out. Lots of goodies. I will get onto Google Translator later and explain to Maria what I've actually sent her. This is my friendship with Maria. Lisa, I need stock for the Madrid show. That's it, pretty much. She just says, I need stock. And I just sent her stuff. So, oh, Australia Post, Diane, and I'm assuming you've got the tracking and you're still waiting, and you know you can always email us if you haven't got it, and we will have a look for you. But yeah, and the Star Trek boys decided to do a little bit of a walkout today, a little bit of a huff, a little bit of a puff. So we just have all these challenges, don't we, to deal with. So what I've been up to without telling you is that, so you know that, oh, I'm nervous, I had to have a glass of water. So you know what we've done so far this year. Well, Girls in a Quilter's Life know a little more than everyone else because that's, you know, they're that little cliquey inner club group of mine. But what we, how we moved out all of the stock for our exhibitions this year. Moved it all out into storage, which is all of our wholesale stock for the textile pantry. And then, so my warehouse is, you know, if you've seen the exhibition, there's not much in it. And then the Girls in Quilter's Life know I got a bit of a huff and a puff. I couldn't design and concentrate in my magnificent office at work anymore, because when we moved into the warehouse that we built 7 years ago, there was no one else around. All the blocks next door were empty. I'd never laughed. It was always a great concern when people would come to visit and they drove straight past because it looked so different, because the she oaks had grown but buildings had gone up around us, so they didn't have vacant blocks of land as a landmark to find me anymore. So it's got really busy, and I did throw a little bit of a city chick hissy fit and said, I can't work here anymore. We're going to use this space for filming Facebook and things, and I'm heading home. So I brought my studio home. Just so happened to coincide with Philip, of course, moving out. So I got to bring my studio home. And then as time goes on, it's got more and more disjointed, and with lockdowns, I'm just knocking around in a dirty, great big warehouse in the freezing cold, and it will soon be stinking hot. And you can't come in, and I can't do anything about that. And so we've also had maybe a little bit, what would Natasha say, a bit of shenanigans, a little bit of a close call here and there with COVID through Rob's work. And I thought, what would happen if Rob's work, you know, anywhere we've been, it doesn't even have to be Rob's work, anywhere we've been becomes a tier 1 site and we have to lock down for 2 weeks. And I'm here and everything's at the warehouse. What would the girls and I do? I don't know. So, sneaky last week, in between all of the exhibition stuff, I started sneaking more stuff home. So I pretty much had us set up to operate independently from home, fulfilling orders at least. And then we just made the decision yesterday, this is just silly, we're even more disjointed. So I've moved it all home or into storage. So the last day, you can't have your business operating half and half. So the decision was made, let's go. So you're all home here with me now. And anything else, all of our backup stock and everything, we have safely popped away into storage, which we have access to like a second warehouse all the time. So also when we know that we're out, you can't come in, wouldn't be able to visit anyway until, if we're lucky, early November. It's a long way. It's a long way for us to work in between. So we decided to do that. And with that, when we can go out again, there's so much I need to do and want to do when we move out. So, for example, I need to go and visit Peter because he has a Q20 and he needs my TLC to make sure that he's happy with his big Q20. I also need to visit Anne. I need to visit Therese. I need to visit Karen. I need to visit Libby. I need to visit everyone that's got a queue, because that's part of the deal when you buy one, but I haven't been able to do it. And also, I may or may not have a few rather lovely 7 Series machines with embroidery units out in the universe, and I don't want people to have to lug them in. I want to be able to go to them and actually one-on-one help them with their machines. And we need to film lots and lots of craft and cook to catch up, because we haven't been able to do that for my YouTube channel. I've got some interviews set up to do with Maria Waters and some other people in their studios, because this to me now is really important, that wherever you are in Australia, whether you lockdown, remote area, I want to be able to go out and do things for you and experiences for you to show you, because you can't go anywhere. Or like last week was so cool because I could show you all these beautiful quilts no matter where you were, if you were 5 minutes away or if you were 5,000 kilometers away, which is quite possible. So we've done that, and we've brought it home for now. So I know some of you are hanging out to come in again when we can open up about mid-November, and I'm truly sorry for that, but I am totally committed to making sure that you get pop-up shops when we can do it, that you get workshops in halls, that you get all of that as soon as we can. And you kind of can't have both things running at once. So please, please, please forgive me, but that's what we're going to do. Karen DeWitt, you're late again. What's going on? Yes, so it was a big day and night getting everything, because I was doing it so organised and in small bits at a time, you know, and then all of a sudden, but we are here now, only 2 hours late. And we've got lots and lots of gorgeous new fabrics coming in, or I've already got them. Today what I want to do for you is a little bit of a demo to get you kick started if you would like to do a pointed Dresden quilt. And I don't know if you've done them before, but this is one of my two babies. I've got another one here that's bigger, I will show you. And this block is really, really special to me because, yeah, it's an 8-pointed Dresden with the cross blocks, I get that, but I call it my castle ceiling quilt because Warwick Castle in the UK, this is the pattern on the ceiling, and it has all this beautiful sort of gold leaf plastered work. I'm sure if you've been, you might have the postcard with it on, all this beautiful sort of gold leaf kaleidoscope work on the ceiling. And I don't remember much about the castle. I walked around with my head like this looking at the ceiling, and I took some photos, and then there was a bit of a bingle with a security guard with Rob and my dad, because we were with Mum and Dad, and he wanted the whole film out of my camera because we weren't supposed to take photos of a ceiling. Like, I can steal the ceiling. So we won that little war because there were so many precious photos from our holiday on there. We won that war. It was a little, not a war, a little bit of a bingle, only to walk into the souvenir shop and there's the postcard with the ceiling on it. So there you go. So that is actually, for me, I probably didn't even know what an 8-pointed Dresden was at that stage, but that for me was replicating the ceiling. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips today for that. Now, first of all, Steve has done the cool thing, and he has put a little tag on everything that is for today's show, and I believe that is, I haven't even looked, but it's across the top banner on the website, I'm pretty sure. It's there, and if not, your tag is show 1, because we're going to start from scratch now. We're off and running. So I'm pretty sure it's across the top, and you can click on that and it will bring up everything. Tell me if I'm wrong. He'll be around soon, so we can double check that for you. But yes, I am, if Therese, we're going to Therese's house as well before Christmas, and that is going to blow your mind. I can't even tell you more than that. It's top secret, but it's musical and it's going to blow your mind. That's all I'm saying. It's all super. Now I'm going to put that pattern aside for a minute, because who says what sounds what great to me? Yeah, Felicity. Oh, we could just come to Tassie, Flick. Let us in. Just come to Tassie. All right. So there's lots of new fabrics that have come in. I'm going to quickly run through those first for you. Oh, wait, no. Is Sharon Keys in the building yet? I don't know if she is, but we've got show and tell from Sharon. Let's do that first. What are these doing here? Michelle Fisher, your shoes just, have you seen these? You have, haven't you? If you haven't, you're in for a treat. Let me just, look at these. They just kind of hang on the set. But, they're my Melba shoes. I may or may not wear those, but if I do, I'm going to need stilts I'm going to need those walking sticks, because they're got a bit of height there. Bit of height. Alright, these are Sharon's bags. Now, Sharon put in 2 for our awesome, may I say awesome bag challenge last week. They are Michelle Fisher's shoes, and Michelle's the one that won the stunning, well, no, I'm not going to call that stunning. Her stunning trio of bags, the Madison set, won the Burnett sewing machine and embroidery unit. So same lady. This is one of Sharon's bags. So she gave me a heap of other ones just for show and tell, to show you. How cute's that? So they are our 2-inch English paper piecing Perspex templates. Now, I love this because she's used them on a lot of bags, which is good for me because it reinforces the fact you can use them again and again. Isn't that cute? That's the flat. And she's fussy cut that little bit. That's all from the Summer Palace border stripe. All from the same fabric. Love it. Love it. So she's got that one. A few. Look at this. This is big. This is big. I'm thinking this is what you put your big square templates in. So border stripe on one side, and then rest of the border stripe again with the templates on the back. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Prolific girl that she is. This is our panel pocket tote, looking very gorgeous and very different. in a turquoise. I do. I like this fabric, Sharon. What is... that's got a little bit of... That's a little bit of Japanesey texture going on there. That is very nice. Lovely. Very nice indeed. Gorgeous. Okay. Put that one back. I've just realised you can see the door where we had a sign on the door. Took the sign off. Well, the paint came off. I might cover that up before the next one. Oops. Alright, now this one is beautiful. I love what she's done with this one. This is our woven trim tote that we did a couple of months ago. And that is a mosquito. Oh, come on, it's just warm today. There are no mozzies yet. But isn't that gorgeous? She's done a really nice job with just with the fabric she had in her stash. Look at that. And kudos to her, followed our little suggestion of putting some decorative stitches on her little vertical bars. Very nice. Very, very nice. And then one big one. So this one I really like too, because it's more of a subtle contrast with the English paper piecing, and she's put cream on cream. And I really like that. Mixing it all up. Very, very nice. And it is so big that I think I will be able to put all of the bags in the top one. Alright, I'm going to pop those down here. Everything is very new and changed around here, and I think we'll be good. I think we'll be alright for today. So who else is here? Oh, hello Marilyn. Kay's here. Mary's here. Yeah, they are lovely bags, Joan. She's done a fabulous job. She has lots of ones for charities, lots for herself, just lots of lovely ones to give away. Hi, Jenny. Where's Flynn? Sorry, I can't help myself. All right, so what I want to do now is show you a bit of show and tell from me of what's coming. Where do we start? Where do we start? I don't know. I don't know. Shall we start with the Liberty? Let's do that. I'll go and get the Liberty first. Oh. Oops. Over on my new shelves that are obviously a bit too far away to do that. Okay. Now I'm going to pop this on camera 3. Just to give you a little look first, and then I'm going to put them on close up for you. So these are in the pre-cut section now. Now you know that we had quite a respectable little group of Liberty cottons. I have added to those, and I now had enough to give you a pack of 15 different ones, and they will all go together beautifully. You get a little pop of yellow, and then you've got all your different greens, and then you've got these prints that pull in the yellow, so it will all pull together really nicely. There's a gorgeous new look at that dark ivy green, and that matches up with the little snowbell one, and we had that one before. This one's new. I love that. Then you've got, do you see those notes? We need to talk about that too. This one we had to go with these guys over here. Look at pretty soft sage blue and green, and then drop dead gorgeous new teal. So these are, you see that there? Look at that. Beautiful. So they all go really well together. You will find them in pre-cuts. So you've got 15 different fabrics, and it's a weird little shape that I've given you, but I've got a good reason. I've given you 5.5-inch squares, so you've got 35.5-inch squares to play with. Now, I've given you this size because I know one of the things that a lot of you will do is go straight into English paper piecing. And I hope Sharon doesn't mind, but those that size that she's using, which is the size that we've got on the website in the English paper piecing in the Habby, is this size here, and these are 2 inches wide. So I've given you pieces that are 5.5, because then you'll be able to cut these down into 4 squares that are going to be 2 3/4, And 2 3/4 is the perfect size to use for this size shape. So that's one of my reasons, and that is certainly what I'm going to do with one of those packs myself. So that's going to give you lots and lots of, well, you're going to end up with 8 each of these, and the little packs that we sell have got 20 of them in each. So you can reuse them all, but I wanted 5.5 because it kind of matches in with a lot of the other things that we do or we're going to do. It will work with your designer pack pointed Dresden wedge as well. So there's lots of different reasons for using that size. So they're up there now in pre-cuts, and you can have a look in there. I think it works out quite well actually, price-wise. It's pretty good. Do you see this? This is, I haven't put this on the site yet. I just like it. I love it. I want a jacket out of this. And next week I'm going to have a play with it, and we're going to do a little bit of raw edge applique with some batiks, and we're going to fill in. We're going to fill in the leaves just for fun. We'll do that Thursday next week. Oh, and on the top here, let's do these. So do you remember this gorgeous thing? A lot of you have eaten into that already. That bolt's getting a bit thin. They were the bees, which has the most gorgeous name. It's Summer in the Cotswolds. So that's that gorgeous sort of pewter slate blue. And the cream arrived. You know, things, special things, I mean, they should have come together, but, you know, it's nice to space things out sometimes. So that's the cream. See the bees? Love them. The bees are upside down. Sorry. Go that way. So that's summer in the Cotswolds, and you can, I suppose, if you put the word Cotswolds in, you know, that will find it. But they're also in other lovely fabrics, whatever we've called it. Gorgeous. Bees, bees, bees. Jenny, you're wearing your scarf today. Oh, that's fabulous. We've got a scarf jacket to make as well. Got lots to do. We've got so much to get done. And now I'm saving all that time, all of 4 minutes drive back and forth. No, it's not about that. It's about constantly having to pack things up and take them there and bring them back. And it's a little bit lonely in there, to be honest, as well. If Steve's not around filling orders, it's a little bit, yeah, rather be at home. This is the creative space, so and we need to be creative, at least for a while. So I'm just dealing with the chaos. We're getting there. We are getting there. Right, this side, on the new rack, we've got some 7 berries in. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Look at that. Just really lovely classic. So I'll add these. These have been added in with all the other gorgeous orientals on the website. I'm feeling we are nearly up to enough to run a summer palace quilt. Remember that? Bit of a flashback. So that takes 21 fat quarters, and I reckon we're there. If I pop in a couple of my summer palaces, maybe the dragons, oh yeah, I think it's nearly summer palace quilt time. So there's the black one. Oh, okay, so there's the black one, and then I found a couple of others that we've already got that I wanted to add in and show you. See that? So that's Robert Kaufman, Bounty of the Season. So Steve's tagged that for us as well for today. That is a really good matchup. Really, really like that, as is this. So this is a Robert Kaufman. This was Florentine Garden, but look at that. Really, really nice with it, because it just brings up all of the gold and green. I just, and this beautiful bright red. Really liked that. Okay, this is the red. Now, when I popped this up, and I'm looking at it even now on the camera, that red, folks, is just showing a little bit darker than it actually is. It is a true bright Chinese red, for want of a better word, Chinese red. So it looks, I'll try and get that a bit better in a minute, but I just wanted to show you this. This is also Bounty of the Season, but in this divine green, divine as John would say, green, and you can see it's going to pull up that gorgeous green. Can't decide what I want to play with today for what I'm going to make. Haven't made up my mind yet. Bit off the cuff, but it might be the black. Might be the black in this. So see how that green, that same colours on both the prints. Just the background changes. Let me see if I can get you a better. Yeah, getting there. Oh, that's better. See that? It's really it's a strong red. It's even brighter than that. And what you can see. If I hold it, no. But it is beautiful. It is really yummy. And it will go with all the other ones that we got in a little bit earlier. I'm going to use the black and the green. And this comes in other colours as well. Actually, I've got one in a new Applique Essentials pack for you because I promised another one this week. I'm going to put this is it. We're using these two. So what I'm going to make today, I'm going to show you, get you started. So, because I know a lot of you are like, yeah, I could just buy the pattern, but can I really do it? I'm going to start a couple of blocks from this quilt just to get you started. And they're slightly bigger than this one because in the pattern I've popped in slightly larger templates for a table runner. So that's what I'm going to start with, those, just to kick you off. And the patterns, it's already up, digital download on the website. I haven't popped it up as a hard copy yet. Literally we finished it at about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock maybe. So it will come out as a hard copy, but if you're in Melbourne, it's a long weekend. It's a public holiday you have when you're not really having a public holiday because it's a grand final holiday and it's not even here. So you might have a long weekend. So you can just print that off, hit the stash and have a go. All right, there's three lovely new 7 berries in just classic coordinates. So if you do love your Orientals and you need something to go with them, here they are, just to set them off. So classic shibori pattern. This one's got your little rings over the top and then just a lovely little cherry blossom. So they're kind of like your little essential stash in the cupboard when you've got lots of bits and bobs of those beautiful Orientals left over and you're going to cut them down and paper piece them or mix and match them all together to put into a handbag if they're left from a quilt. This would be a lovely thing to have in the stash to just put together because they will go with everything. That's my spiel. I love the way they say made in Japan on the side. The 7 berries are. You know I'm a bit of a snob with my fabric. Oh, speaking of Japan, I'm going to show you a couple more and then I'm going to show you something really funny. Funny and fortuitous. This is the start of a new range, of a different collection, but that's another gorgeous black. So this range is Timeless Treasures, so you will find it tagged, but it's also under Timeless Treasures. Look at that shimmer. Look at it. It's, sometimes the camera does funny things, but oh, it is. It's strobing a bit. It's lots and lots of tiny, tiny little dots in a circular design. Yummy. This is what happens when we have an exhibition and I don't have time to put them all up. Okay, you like that? I do like that. Look at it with that. That's good too. We're not going to have room for these for a minute. Let's put these down here. Right, one. Actually, you know what? I don't need to put all the bolts up. I've got you a pre-cut pack. Let's just bring that out. Here we go. Let me pop this back over here. I thought I'm going to have to drag them all out one by one. It's going to be a bit of work, or I could just add a pre-cut pack to the website and then they're all together and you don't have to, I don't have to I don't have to pull them out, and if you really want to have a play, you don't have to choose. So here we go. Beautiful quality timeless treasures, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fat quarters. And to round it off, for want of a better word, I have popped it in with 1/2 metre of Black Magic, our beautiful Maywood Studio Black Magic solid. So you're going to get 9 fat quarters and this. Okay. So we've got gorgeous butterflies on black. There's that same circular dot design in the lovely purple. Check out the stripe. In fact, this castle ceiling quilt we're doing today, I can see it. I can see it if you alternated the blocks. Oh, thanks, Steve. He's updated the photo so it's true to colour of those red frames. Cranes, that, it just, you know, it's not what you know, is it? Just not what you know. Anne Hamilton, are you all okay in Melbourne? Just on that note, we shook things up a bit down here. Excuse the pun. What was that? That was a massive shake of the house. Had to grab my grandmother's mirror off the wall. Thank you for asking. Thought I had everything under control and just got myself calm and walked into the kitchen. All the drawers were open. All the cupboards were open. Didn't lose the coffee mug, but it hit the floor and lost the coffee that was in it. Thank you for asking. But yeah, what was that? As if we haven't got enough going on. As if we haven't got enough going on down here. Oh, Joan, it's already in your cart. Gee, you're on the ball. Okay, butterflies. Purple, dotty circles. Drop dead gorgeous stripe with all of the colours from the range in. Note that grey. I'll show you where else it comes up. Oh my goodness, all day long. That is just, you know that's me. You do know that's me, that antique gold. That's kind of like shirt, jacket, I don't know. In quantity for me, that would be. Do you know, I've just bought fabric from One Thaggy Fabrics, from Karen, because that's, you know, that's what I do when I'm not here buying fabric from other shops for clothing. Look at that. Beautiful little chrysanthemums, cherry blossoms. Then the sage. Yum, yum, yum. You can tell I like it. Now see the sage, here it is here. It's showing up on all of the butterfly prints. There's that grey that I mentioned in the stripe. There's the bolt I had down of the black, and there's the grey again here. So it is there. So when you get your piece of stripe, you can buy these by the metre or the pack. Totally up to you. But you'll go, where's this grey? But it's in there. It's in here. That is worthy, that, isn't it? Ooh, you know I want to ruche it. You know I want to ruche it. So, let me just give you a little bit. Because I've got cameras everywhere now. Yummy. And so I've popped that with it. So if you've got 1/2 metre of this with it, I just wanted to do that. Then that rounds it off quite nicely. Just sort of 10 fat quarters value worth to be you know, to be sort of organised. What's that? Ilse, you finally made it. Oh, awesome. Donna's in the building from the UK. I was hoping my old house would fall down in the quake. Oh, that's not funny. That's not funny. Actually, I did head for the door. After I got Vinnie's mirror down, I went, this is a bit silly standing here as I'm watching the grapevine Bagola do this out the back of this old house. And I headed out the door as it stopped. And Ginny came flying in the window, flying down the hallway with her ears back, and she stopped dead and looked at me. And we know that it's just a cat being frightened, but the look on her face was, you were going to leave me here, weren't you? You were doing a runner and you were not taking me with you. I got the guilts. Big time. The cat guilt tripped me. Absolutely guilt tripped me. It's a bit scary. Now what else do I want to show you? Oh, okay, 2 things. We've got our green essential applique pack up. I think Steve brought me home. This is our new one. I think Steve brought me home the green one. I don't know. No, I don't know where he's put it. That's all right. He'll show me when he gets back. So we've got this in the green. So we've done a light green one. That's already up. And I know a lot of you have loved that. What's this? A Deborah and Butcher. Oh, so Debbie got his priorities right. He was holding up the cupboard with the wine glasses in it. Oh, that's funny. Oh, actually, I was really lucky because I had some of my grandmother's, beautiful old sherry glasses very close to the front of my old Cooldagaldi meat safe, and the doors were open, so I was very lucky. Okay, so we've got a light green one, and this is the new gold one. So if you haven't seen these, you have got 10 centimetre or 4-inch strips. This gives you your head start. It just means you've got a bit of everything in the cupboard so that when you need a little bit, and I do have plans for this pack with some summer palace, with some of the paper piecing EPPs, and we're going to get stuck into some applique a la Eileen Campbell style, and that's going to happen within the next week. Everything is here. I just need to get this ramshackle mess together in the house, and then I'm going to hit the table, let's say sewing machine, hit the table and get that ready for you for next week. I feel like it's like a race now to see how much we can get done before Christmas and before we open up, and now that I'm here, we're on. So this pack is up now for you. Again, it's one of those little specials that Steve has tagged for us, and he's tagged the green one too, so you will find that really easily. If I hold that on my arm, just like back to the waitressing days, 3 plates up the arm, there you go. So that's another one of those fabrics like the gorgeous black one that I showed you. Oh, and the green one that we're going to use. They're really yummy, aren't they? Just that splash, looks like someone's hit them with the paintbrush with the gold. So you've got some Under the Australian Sun, of course, and some Melba this time, and some fusions and some Hoffman batiks and some shadow play. So you're going to have a lot of lovely texture differences going on as well. I'm just wondering, yeah, see, I could do that. I could live with that quite easily. And it does, the fabrics we're going to use with this are some Summer Palace in the plum, and it will pick them up really nicely. If you do decide to grab one of those, you might want to grab 1/2 metre of that as well, because the value of this is going to fit in here somewhere else as well. When I worked this out, this hadn't arrived, but it is just gorgeous. So if you're into the golds and you've got your gold fairy frost and all those other ones happening, that would be rather lovely. Gee, I've got to watch what you can see on the cameras. I didn't get to check that today. All right, I'm just going to pop that up there. Now, the funny thing I was going to show you is in here, and we are missing a FedEx delivery this week. We'll do a bit of a track to find out where it's at. So this is sharing and caring. I tell you, we are redoing our Under the Australian Sun border stripe with, what's at the eye there, in teal, so that we've got it in teal and pink to go with our pink and teal floral, which was always going to be on the books, but you sort of have to wait until you've got you get low on your stock and you can sort of justify it. So everything, of course, got put back with pandemics and things, and now we're kicking on and doing the new samples. And so I sent off to, it's here! Gimme. Was that at the warehouse?
No, it came with Ash in the box.
Well, you didn't tell me that.
Put it at the table next to you.
It's here. Will you open that? I'll show the girls the first one. And they can see it for the first time. So what happened was, I gave them the original one, which is I gave them ivory and red for the original one, so that they knew which one they were doing and the way that the screens are set up. Like, oh, I don't want to show you this. Oh, I have to show it to you. And then I gave them my colours for the new one, which had all the pinks and my new teal background. And they mixed them up and they put the teal background with the red. And this is what happened. I got this, which is all a little bit all wrong. But you know, I do kind of like it. Can you see? So this is the new background colour. And yeah, they may have got a little bit confused in the translation, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, we're not going to do it with Under the Australian Sun, but I'm a bit excited because what these colours, it means I've got one of my colour stories done for next year for, there's no drum roll, I'm doing a Scottish range. So this colourway is going to get used next year. So I want you to think thistles and heather and Celtic knots and Tudor roses and all those yummy, yummy things. And that's, I'm going to use this colourway as one of my colourways for that. There are actually two here. And I don't think, the difference is so subtle you probably can't pick it up on those. But yeah, so that's, it's really funny when you're on the phone and you're doing the big reveal, you know, and you're doing it at the same time as my fabric agent team in California, because I don't speak fluent Japanese, and you need someone to organise all the important stuff like communication, final artwork, shipping, printing, the dosh that has to go out, all of that. So they do all of, they're the middleman. And we opened them together and I went, oh, I won't tell you what we all said. Yeah, it was very, very funny. So this lot is the real one. I haven't seen this. This is it. Let me have a, let me just, oh, okay. You're part of, hang on, I've got to remove the documentation because it's all very secret and no one is allowed to know. So these need an iron because they have literally come. Hey Robbie.
Yeah.
I need a band-aid. Please, of Noctima. I don't want the girls to, I don't want to gross the girls out with my hand. They didn't iron, they've come straight off the loom. Wait, I think we're this one. Here we go. This is our new baby. This is going to be our new baby. So, these colours in here are exactly the same as the ones that are in my floral. Okay, so they are the same. So I'll get you a bolt of that so you can see it. This is a very important design meeting, folks. I need a, you're right. I'm really grossing you out. And I need a bolt of pink and two. Oh, can you get me that bolt down? Oh. What would I do without Rob in the... What are we going to do when Rob's not here? Well, one, don't cut your hand, and two, have everything ready. But we did not know that this was going to arrive. Ta. Okay, so this is what we're doing. Do you remember the first range, how we had that really dark teal colour? Well, here's the baby that's going to go with it now. So that will go together. And then when I do that big Waratah print again, which now this is done and this goes to print, I will get that done straight away. In my spare time, in my home office. Then I think the Waratah background goes in between. I just want to give you a little bit of a, I don't know if you can really see it that well. And this also, this fabric doesn't have its finish on it yet. So they always look quite flat. So that will go. So we needed this contrast between the two. You see this? I've talked about that before, haven't I? So these are my actual colour swatches and they are what these are on the selvage, but in bigger bits, because when we're finalising colours and things, we need to be able to see them really well. And what I will now do is I keep these and I cut them up and put them in little jars so that I've got reference colours for when we do other things. Steve and I also sit down and we colour match them to international Pantone colours, because we start with Pantones but things get changed along the way, and that's really important to have as a reference when we come back and use those colours again. So isn't it amazing the difference between this one and the other one? Right, better push the button and go to print so that we've got that. It takes ages, it does take ages, but because these strike-offs are the finished ones, we can put it up on websites and take orders, but it's probably December if we're lucky. We shall see. We shall see. Oh, this has arrived. That's the other colourway in the Essentials pack. Yum yum, Felicity. There you go. All right. So that's the other one. So you can see you've got these two now to play with. And I'll probably go, oh, you all want purple. I'll probably go purple next. Everyone wants purple. I'm going, that's not an essential. Evidently it is. If you're into purple, it is essential. Absolutely. Now, also I promised to let you know what that Russian quilting website was that I spoke about last week. It is simply the Russian Quilters Association. I follow it through a friend, but that's what it is. So if you want to see what the girls are doing in Russia, hop on there. They're really into wearing their craft. They're really into wearing their patchwork, and there's been some stunning posts on there lately. So yeah. Who said yay purple? Someone said it. Oh, Cindy, I'm glad you... Hi, Cindy. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, the teal was a very happy mistake, and I think they were very relieved I was happy with the teal, because it added another 3 weeks to sign off because they had to redo the strike-offs. So, yeah. Very long 3 weeks. This, I just want to hold this up for you as well. This is huge. That's my original castle ceiling quilt. I can't get out. It's 2.2 meters. But I wanted to mention it because once you've got this pattern, you can just make your quilt as big or as small as you like. You don't have to do what I did. And this is a scrappy one. It's got lots and lots of different fabrics in it, and I put Suffolk puffs in the middle of each one. When I decided to do that, I didn't stop and think about how many Suffolk puffs I would have to make. But it can be scrappy. That quilt is kind of where I fell in love with metallics. That was from the Patchworks in North Hobart. The girls there, Sue was totally into stocking every single Hoffman metallic paisley on the planet, and every time we went and visited Rob's family, I would up my stash a little bit. Fiona, yeah, see, blue, you're absolutely right. We need to do a blue essential pack. It's all about getting good grading. I think I can do a blue. It won't get metallic blue though. I've only got silver, so you might get a bit of a mix of gold and silver. I don't think that would matter. You just want an essential pack. There's definitely lots of gorgeous Hoffman batiks in blue and shadow play in blue, fusions in blue. I've got a bit, so yes, we'll try and do one a week. We'll get one a week done, so we've got a new one every week coming through. Now, pattern, that would help. Okay, this is the pattern in black and white. I didn't waste my ink, but when you print yours out, you can choose to go black and white or colour. If you go black and white, you can always just go back and refer to the picture of the quilt where you've purchased the digital download. So that's easy enough. You've got instructions right through for how to piece, which I'm going to go through now for you, and how to put your quilt together. This big picture, if you do colour, please don't curse me on the size. I really wanted you to have a big one because you're going to use your photo on the front of the pattern to help you with the layout of the quilt as well, if you choose to do my size. Now this is what we're going to do today. Well, a start off anyway is a table runner. And here are our templates. So you can see there's quite a difference in size. Come on, don't make me laugh, Melissa. You're just so funny. A bit excited about that FedEx box. A bit excited, actually arrived a couple of hours ago and I didn't notice it. When Maria's, it must have been when Maria's stock got picked up. Oh, I also sent down a box of stuff to Mum and Dad to pack off, including some new bag furniture, and I got a heap of new lanyard clips in, so I've got those being packed off with the pattern, so they'll be back next week. Okay, so they're the two templates for the quilt on the wall, and then these two are the ones for the table runner. Now when you look at that, it looks smaller than what it is on the quilt on the wall, but it's because it's double. It's only one side, only the diameter of the block. So it looks small, but it's not. That's actually it. Okay, so we need to make some templates up. I just grabbed some scrap template plastic that I had laying around. So we'll just draw these. Quickly up, and then we'll just give you a little head start on these. So what I'm going to start doing this week is some demos for my Banana people. So if you own a Banana, you might like to watch in, and I will be doing it by model as well. So I'm going to start, actually I'm starting with the 720. So I'm going to have my 720 out. We're just going to go through all the basic stuff. If you've got one and you go, I know all of that, then you don't need to watch, or you might like to watch just in case there's something you've missed. It'll be live, so you can interact and ask me questions while you're there. A little bit like a press conference. If I know the answer, I'll give it to you, and if I don't, I'll get back to you afterwards. But that's what we're going to start with, just because we haven't been able to do orientation for machines in the store. So it's time to get that done. The fourth camera is in place, so I've got one really close up, nice to the foot as well, and we'll be able to go through the screen and all of the settings, and I'll just share with you what I think is really important to know, I suppose, say for your first 3 months of sewing, just to get you started, not into the really tech stuff or what you do with other feet, but just to get you started. And some of the things that happen that you go, what's that? What is it making that noise for? What have I done? How on earth did I manage to break a needle on such a flash machine? All those sorts of things are really important to know. So we'll just get these cut out. Now, what the actual pattern tells you to do, asks you very nicely to do, is cut these templates out twice. Once as template A with no seam allowance as they come on the pattern, and then again with template B. To create template B, you're going to take A and you're just going to add 1/4 inch right round, so that there's lots of people on here today that I haven't seen before. That makes me nervous. Jackie, have you been here before? Yes, Fiona, you do own a Banana. So I'll start with the 720s. Now my reason also for starting with 720s, a little bit of insight, a little bit of intel for you. There are not many at head office, and I've got a couple of ladies that will be watching who are thinking about buying one. And so it's sort of, well, we're showing people that have already got one, but it's a little bit of extra for them so they can see the features of the machine. It is always a huge decision to buy a Banana, and I never underestimate that. I still get really nervous when I sell one, because it's a big investment. It's something you're going to have for life. So, but there are not many left at head office, and we're not sure if there's any more before Christmas, so that's why we're going on the 7/21st, and then we'll do the others. Really need to uphold my Benin dealership and do the demo on the whiz-bang new overlocker as well, and I need to make some clothes on it, most importantly for myself, never mind the demo for me. So it tells you to make these two as they are and then do it again with a seam allowance. I hope you will forgive me, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to draw them straight on and cut them out, because you just don't want to sit here watching me draw up templates all day. And if you've got clear plastic, use it, because then you can fussy cut. So I had my heart set on using this, and I wanted to cut my pieces from the same part of the design so that I get a little bit of a kaleidoscope. Who's got a 4? Who said that? Who's doing wishing? Felicity Bonner, you need to own a Benina and own them now. And if you got 4, oh snap, me too. Oh yeah, but I'm a dealer. I'm allowed to have 4. That's what I keep telling Rob anyway. I'm allowed to have 4. It's in my contract. It's not. Okay, so we're going to have 8 pieces. So I've popped on the requirements for the pattern. 8 pieces, so 8 repeats if you are going to have a little bit of a kaleidoscope thing going on. Now this pattern here is really interesting. I've got these cranes kind of heading in different directions. Unlike a really straightforward repeat like my border stripes on Summer Palace and Melbourne and things, this has got what they call an interlocking 45-degree drop design. I had no idea what that meant, but I learned very quickly, because that's what Under the Australian Sun floral is. So I know that even though it all looks really complicated, I've got these two guys here are the same, and then these guys down here are the same, and then these are the same. I think I'm going to go, what, these two are the same. Yes. And that one. Yeah, I've just managed to completely confuse myself. Okay. So I want probably that guy. I'm going to draw it from the back. Just going to do a couple together so you can see. And then if I'm really happy with this, you know I'm going to finish it off for myself. So there's one there and there's one there. So is that a 12? Oh yeah, so that's a 12-inch repeat, this fabric. So I'm going to chop. I'm just going to go straight up here and have a play with this bit. And I'm going to flip it to the other side so that I can draw on with my pen. Okay. Are you there, Robbie? That'd be a no. Look, I said I was going to do, oh, look at that. I've got the crane head and that flower in. That's a go. Okay. I do like that. Okay, little trick for you. If you are going to cut, hi.
7-second delay.
7-second delay. Look, I just wanted a pencil, really. Nothing too flash. Left-hand side of my desk in the wooden tray. Or see that, oh, look at that COVID regrowth hair. I've just seen what you can see. All right, so I've got the crane here and I've got the flower. Now, one little trick which I do with your Sharpie, just come back and mark your template. Just choose something. It's like the part of his beak. Thank you. And this little V down here, and maybe just the top of that flower. Like that. Then what I can do, when I find that flower again, which is over here, I can line up those marks on my template so that I know I've got it perfectly in the right spot. Because with any fabric, actually the weave on this is really good. I can see it super straight. But you know how we've spoken about before how you can get a little bit of shift in the weft and the weave depending on how well the fabric's been made and bolted. So this just helps you make sure you've got exactly the same shape. There we go. So there's those two. Now this is where I said I hope you're going to forgive me, and I'm going to do it by sight just so I can get this done and show you. Don't waste your fabric. Make sure you've got your trusty scissors to snip in. The other thing too, I suppose, is just defending myself doing it this way, is that I've got my seam line actually drawn in. If I didn't, this would be sacrilege, but because I do, I know that I'm going to be able to line up my seams with my pins. There we go. So there's one, that one. Yeah, so it was a busy weekend, and it was a busy start to the week because everyone's got all of their bags back with them or on their way, except for Sharon, as you well know. I've got hers here. I still have Michelle Fisher's because we are going to make a pattern of two Michelle's bags. The other pattern for the coin purse is our little trinket purse, so that's fine, but we're going to pop all that together, and I'm just waiting on her waiting on her machine to come in from its upgrades. Just so happened to be a few little upgrades to the machine, so that's being done. There you go. Oh my, I'm gonna have to make the whole thing. Okay, leave those there. And where'd I put the green? The green's a lot more straightforward. So, you know, draw up your Dresden wedges in the sewing room, pop the seam allowance around them, however you want to do it, and then you can sit down, cut them out in front of the television if you so wish. We are totally into the new season of Silent Witness and a few other things at the moment, so there hasn't been much on, but you see what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat. Alright, I'm going to be efficient. Let's not say cheat. Alright. With seam allowance, out to here, 3 3/4. So I'm going to trim this up because I'm very serious about making this table runner now. 3. That was so much fun, that class, Emma, that Facebook Emma and I did with the rotary cutting. That was hilarious. She's been sewing all day. I keep getting photos. Silent Witness is good, isn't it, Pat? I sort of feel like I've grown up or grown old with Silent Witness. Do you want me to cheat even more? I can cheat even more. How naughty is that? Okay, 5 1/2, 6 1/2. Very naughty. This is what people do that are in a hurry and own a patchwork shop and do not have respect for fabric waste. See? I mean, oh, I've gone too big. What happened? 1 2 3 4 5 6. Oh, it was 6, not 6 1/2. My bad. There we go. Wicked, huh? Now, what you do if you're doing this in a hurry as well, before doing a live show, obviously, you can actually just draw onto the top one. Like that. So it's on. And then, when no one's looking, I would line all these up on top of each other. probably give that one a press. Like that. And cut. I want you to see this because I don't want you to think that I'm always good and that I always sit down and draw them up individually like I've suggested that you do in the pattern. I don't want you to be led astray that I've found that extra 12 hours between midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning, because I haven't yet. There you go. How naughty is that? So now I would come through and just draw my lines in on these. I'll do 2. Pop those in there. And we're going to need, how many? 4. I think we'll make up the cross block. Yep. Now, with the cross block, even though these are straight sides, you are going to need the side ones in. With this quilt, the most important thing that I've tried to emphasize in the pattern without sounding outrightly rude is that you do need to mark in your seams, because you need to accurately stop at your 1/4 inch seam line. You've got to leave those seam lines open if you want this quilt to work. I do remember when I first did this, I had a lady come in. Actually, she was sewing by hand. She'd been around Australia hand sewing it. And she came and she said something's wrong, and she had sewn down all of her seam allowances, so the quilt just was like wonky. It just would not set flat. Take that off there. Nearly there. I've also, so I've got several things planned. One of them, of course, is to get back to the gardens. We need to get back to the botanic garden. So I've got a couple of nice little projects that I really want to do down there, or at least get down there and film and show you what they are inspired by. It's just going to be one of those magical places to get back to as well, because so much will have grown and developed, and I do believe they've been doing a lot of work down there in the garden, because we haven't been able to visit. They've sort of had the place to themselves, the rangers down there, so there's been lots and lots going on. So, and you know I love my botanic gardens. You know I love them. Okay, we are going to pin these together. Now with your, when you do come to do your Dresden, just remember, have a little bit of respect for the fact that it's cut on the bias, whatever, you know. So all of this is going to have give. It's going to give like we do on purpose with making bias strips. So pin these really well. Don't just do both ends. You need a few pins in between. Yeah, Felicity's right. No waste, just make mulch. Exactly, Flick. I did show you a mulch last week, and it was very well received. And we do need to get it. We do need to get it organised and in my garden. Okay, so we're just going to pin. Make sure that you match up your lines as you go. There we go. So I'd probably use 4 pins down this. One right in the point, but this is the point that we're going to stop. We're going to stop there, and we're going to stop at that pin down the other end. And then with your cross blocks, we're going to sew these together in pairs first, and then we'll be able to iron all of the seam allowances in one direction, and that way when we turn them around and put them right sides together, they'll butt up against each other. I know, pretty basic stuff, but it's just nice to go through it every now and then. I think after a while we all start to take a few shortcuts and think, why doesn't that look right? Okay. I've got my pins in a little dish because there may or may not have been an accident with a dish of pins, and I used the magnetic one to pick them all up, but it's just tragic. So I just thought I'd be aesthetic and put them in a nice little dish and then sort out the menagerie later on. Okay, I'll move this over here, move the iron over here, ready. Now, the big reveal, you ready? Are you ready? Camera 4, there you go, right in front of the machine. I have nowhere to hide now. So this is what's really cool, because I'll have it up a little bit higher so that we've got the screen and you'll be able to see the screen. Look, and I'll be able to push all the buttons and hopefully not confuse you, let alone myself. So, oh, what did I just push? Did I push anything? It went beep. Okay. Sound like a confident banana dealer there? Right. What happened? It went beep. Okay, so we'll just sew these two. Now this is my little 475, so it's not automatic foot up and down. I've got my 1/4 inch foot on, and that's all fine and dandy, but because you've got your seam line drawn on, you might like to switch that over to an open toe foot or a clear foot, because then you can see your line as well. So it's up to you what you're most confident with. You do want a, give me a minute, oh, it wasn't on either, a securing stitch at the start. So a securing stitch on your machine, or a little zigzag at the start, because you don't want these ends sitting right on the corners of your seam allowance to come undone. So we'll just do that. I'm going to head down here. Okay, and we'll do a finishing stitch. There we go. So that's one, and then we'll do the other one. If you've got a finishing stitch on your machine, which I didn't do that time, if you've got one and you're going, it's not working, just remember that your machine needs to know that you have finished off a task before it knows that you're starting again. So if you don't use it, if you don't finish off a previous one, it doesn't know that you've actually finished off sewing what you were sewing before, and so it needs to know that. So if it's not working, that's just why. And when you have used your cutter with or without a securing stitch at the end, then it will know it's time to do that for you at the start. See that? So it knows now. Oh. Okay. There we go. So with these now, all we need to do, we've got one more step just to put this cross block together. So with your wedges, your Dresden wedges, if you do all of your wedges in this way like I've just done, when you actually put them all together, and I've popped it in the notes as well, you're going to go press them all in one direction. So what I would suggest is with your Dresdens, don't iron until you've put them all together. By all means, sew them together in wedges first and then into sets of 4, but don't iron. I know you want to, because you want to see what it's really going to look like, but if you leave it until they're all together and iron all in one way, it's actually really cool, because it will sit beautifully if they're all ironed one way. And when you do it, all the little points down in the middle, all the little points down in the middle, so if I'm going to go this way, all of these will spiral as well, and they'll all twist around together and they'll be really nice and flat. So just resist doing it until you get to the end. I'm not going to do that because I want to show you what at least these two look like. So we'll just give these a quick press. My poor little iron's been going, when are you going to use me? Camera 4 is Camera 4 is awesome. I agree, Diana. If you only knew what it took to get camera 4. Oh, actually, we had camera 4. All right, technically, we had camera 4 last week, but we didn't take our overhead camera. It's just too much to pull down, and we didn't need it at the warehouse. So camera 4 has actually been moonlighting as camera 2 during our exhibition. That's just so silly. All right, so once you've got all of that done, you can come back. I am very happy. I'm very, very happy you all love these rods. I need to order some more soon. So what happens is the seam will sit up, and then with gravity, the pieces fall away so that your seam is exposed. You can see it makes it really easy if you wanted to press your seam open, that we're not. But also it's really nice. It's just nice, and it sits up, and you don't need an ironing board just to do little bits. Oh, that's going to be... Oh, I have to finish this one now. Look. So I've got to make 3 Dresden, so I'll choose 3 different areas, and I'm going to get 3 different kaleidoscope Dresdens, and then I'm going to put them together with my green cross blocks, and I'll probably do this crane one, and then the others from that fabric, I'll choose bits that don't have the crane, that don't have the white, and pop the white one in the middle and have different colours. I'm going to do it. I know I always say that, but I am going to get it done for you next time. I feel there is an obligation, seeing I kept you waiting 2 hours today. Anyway, I hope you're all okay. Riots and earthquakes aside, depending on where you are in Australia. I hope you're all alright. We've got a bit of a way to go, haven't we? How would we be if we didn't sew? Oh my goodness. Oh, the other great thing about doing some stuff here at home, remember how Emma and I were going to do High Tea Tuesdays? Yeah, well, can't have Em yet, but we might do a little bit of that, a little bit sort of like our craft and cook, until I can get out and do craft and cook, I think. Right, so you can see if I turn them both that way, they've got their seam allowances going the same way. It's just a really good thing, and you know, if you know this, that's great, but make sure you share it with your mates that haven't been sewing for that long, because that's really important. If they're both going the same way, then when I do this, they are going to butt up against, they're going to butt up against each other beautifully, and I'm going to get a really nice point there. Of course, that was the advantage of putting Suffolk puffs on the other one, is that I could hide all of my centres. It was 12 by 12. I think it's 12 blocks, or it's bigger than that. I don't know. It worked out I had to make 121 Suffolk puffs, and I didn't think it through when I decided to do it. And I do remember we were going to Merimbula with the kids, and even though I get car sick, I got Rob to drive and just made sure I looked at the horizon every now and then, because, well, it's a long way to Merimbula, and I could sit and sew at least one of the steps before we got there. Okay, this is where you're going to go zoom right through. You must remember not to, and just make sure you start at that 1/4 inch seam allowance again at the corner, little securing stitch. Oh, the other thing I just wanted to mention, in case you're thinking about asking for things for Christmas, the other thing that's a little bit short on, if you're a Bonita person at the moment, are the trolleys. And I just thought of that because Fiona's trolley's arriving, or has just arrived, and Fiona had to wait a little bit because there was a little bit of a confusion over the trolley for a 475. As it turns out, we don't have one. What you do is the big ones now come with these really cool big insert cushion things to put down each side if you have a 475. But winner is, it means you've got heaps of other room in there if you want to put fabric in and batting in if you're going somewhere to pad out the bag. So And they're the same price for the bigger one, so I think that was pretty good. But if you did want one for Christmas, it's just going to be one of those other things that's going to be a little bit light on. And it's sort of one of those nice things to ask for Christmas, I think. Okay, so we'll give that a quick iron, and we are just about there. Now, with this one, I choose to open up this seam because I'm going to be setting in one of these, and it's just nicer. Oh look, see, I didn't catch that. That must have been, I started off one without a securing stitch, and that's coming undone, so it's really important to do. So I think I do like the idea of at least having one of these open. It's up to you. It's up to you. You can press them in one direction, but that is going to come through and sit in here. So I'll just align this down flat for now so you can see. Okay. If you just going, how does this all work? You're going to have a heap of these. You're going to lay it out with your diagram, and this is where it becomes really important that you have not sewn down that seam allowance. So this will get pinned right into this point. If I can get up close enough for you. Okay, so I would pop my pin through the point and right in there, so I can see those, I can see the corner on the cross block, and I would line those up first. And I've popped it in the pattern too. What's important is that you don't keep sewing, so you're going to sew each little bit on its own. If you are a hand sewer, you're going to love this. Felicity, do you like the dragon? You like the dragon? I'm glad you noticed the dragon. It's my good luck dragon. I was just deciding whether or not to do the Summer Palace range the last time I was in the States, and I walked past a vintage jewellery stand and I was wearing green, and it just jumped out at me, and I went, okay, I'm going to buy that and I'll go do my range. There you go. So you're going to pin really well, and you're going to stop right at that 1/4 inch line for me. Then when you've sewn this, it will stop there. You're going to stop, finish off, come out, and then when you go to sew the other side on, you're going to flip that seam allowance out of the way, and then you'll be able to pivot this round and sew up the other side. But it's really, really important that you leave that all open. So if you're hand sewing, you're going to love it, because one section at a time, couple of knots, you'll be able to sneaky feed your needle through that flap of seam allowance and start on the next one. If you buy machine, fine, you're just going to do each section, come out, clip, flip the seam allowance out of the way, and then start again. So a little bit tedious by machine, but hopefully you have got a machine that's really quick for you to do an accurate reverse sew or a securing stitch at both ends, so that you can do it. I'm just going to pin mine up here on the wall with this one, so you can just see the difference in size. These are bigger. Of course, you could just choose to do the whole quilt bigger pieces if you wanted to. No reason you can't. You can always, you can always, with this sort of thing, you can always grab your template. If you've got a photocopier, access to one, you can just make it bigger or smaller to suit you. Mum's got a bigger one, a real country one done with cream on cream thimbleberries that I did for her. And then this is going to be the start of my little, whoa. Yeah. When are we? Tuesday, okay? I'll have this done by Tuesday, promise. That's going to fit in there. Yeah. Can't wait. All right, so, what do we say? Saturday afternoon? for bananas. We'll make Saturday afternoon banana afternoon, 7:20s, or if you just want to watch, a lot of the features are really similar, so we're going to do that Saturday afternoon. Sunday afternoon, if you are in the Chandler's Cottage Applique Club, Sunday afternoon I'm going to do a little live catch up with you at 2 p.m. So it's all on, and then Quilters Life, I'm going to do some stuff and pop it up for you tomorrow. So yes, I will be in your face and really busy. Oh, with newsletter as well. Newsletter, yes, there is one to go out this weekend with the Christmas decoration challenge that I mentioned during last week's show, and just more stuff that's on the website. So did anyone have any questions, or are we all good? If I work a dragon, my fella would have a field day about me making toast. Ha, you're funny. Oh, so Jane's got her applique. Yeah. Oh, good. You like the biscuit tin? Oh, I'm really glad you like it, because it took me there was a lot of heartache that went into that biscuit barrel. Yes, so there's lots happening, and there's lots more to do next week, and I'm very excited actually now. It was a busy month, wasn't it? We did Love and Hugs for 2 weeks, and then the exhibition. But now we can get back to some serious sewing. So I look forward to seeing you whenever I see you next. If not beforehand, I will see those that want to join me at 2 p.m. on Saturday. Okay? Bye. And thanks again for waiting. Appreciate it. All right. Bye.